right, let's talk about symbols and symbolism and all that good stuff. First, when we talk about drawing, we talk about how the brain works. Because believe it or not, every one of you guys have the ability to draw. Just some of you probably stopped doing it at some point. If you stop doing things, you forget how to do them. I mean, that's basically it. I had algebra back in 1983. I probably would not be particularly good at doing algebra right now. I had a Spanish class back in 86. I can keep myself fed. I can do a lot of nouns. I'm not really good at doing sentences. So practice is something that helps you get better. Think about it this way. In third grade, we try to figure out who we are as people, right? I mean, and that changes. What you like in third grade is going to change from what you like in high school, or even when you get to your 30s, and then 40s will be different too. But in third grade, most people look to the left and the right of them. If one of those two kids draw better, they go, "Oh, I can't draw," and they go, "Maybe I play football, or maybe I'm good at singing, or maybe I'm a great producer, or whatever it is that you think you're good at." And they go and they continue on that. Well, if you stop drawing in third grade, by the time you're 50, you're going to draw like a third grader because you never practice. If you stop learning English and learning to read and write in third grade, when you're 50, you would read and write like a third grader. But school doesn't let you do that. They keep hammering it into you. There's a period at the end of the sentence. We're going to put a capital here, or adverb describes the verb, adjective describes the noun. Um, they do that forever. Unfortunately, most of what you learn in school falls into the left hemisphere of the brain. Brain is split up into two hemispheres. Some things cross, all right, or at least little bits cross, but your left brain tends to be the side of the mind that does language, letters, sounds, science, cataloging, math, numbers, and a couple other things that we all do in school. In fact, school is very left brain centered. There's only two times it is not left brain centered: when you're in art class and when you're in gym. Gym and art, believe it or not, because these two people do not seem to be the same type of people, unless you're Mr. Roble. Um, Gym and art have the same skills. It's all about distance, angle, sighting, and being able to aim. So your ability to make a basket in a basketball hoop is right brained. Your ability to draw a line on a paper and make a symbol or an image is also right brained. It's judging angle and distance. And we all have the ability. Some of you guys have made amazing shots with a basketball. And you know what? You did it when you were probably at your most relaxed. The more you thought about it, the less you were able to make that shot. It's kind of like being chased by somebody and you got to jump a fence. If a dog's after you or your friend's after you with a spray can, yeah, sometimes it happens. Boys are stupid. Um, or there's a cop and you're running and you got to get over that fence. That adrenaline and that desire to get over the fence, your brain goes into automatic and it will help you get over that fence. If you start to think about, how am I going to get over that fence? Where's my foot going to go? Where's my hand? You will not get over that fence. So there is a certain amount of, when you draw, you have to stop all this junk they taught you in school for the time period that you're drawing. Because a lot of this junk is left brain and it's the right side that can draw. So I'm going to teach you some tricks as we're going along so that you can do that you can shut off your left brain, you can open your right brain, and you will be able to be more successful. That's going to be coming in about a week. What we're going to do today, unfortunately, well, fortunately, I guess, is we are actually going to draw from the left brain. because the left brain takes everything we see and it makes a symbol out of it. And that's how the left brain interprets things. So as soon as I say face or eyeball, or if I say star, you start thinking like the stars that are on the flag, right? One of those five pointed things, or maybe the Star of David, or maybe you think of some cosmic star from some manga that you read. Most people don't think of a regular star up in the sky because the left brain is more comfortable coming up with a simple image to represent everything you think of. So we're going to go with that. We're going to do that for a little bit. And we're going to learn about symbols. So you will have to take a few notes, not a ton of notes, just a couple. And I'm going to share my screen right here. Boom, boom. No, I just want to share that one. All right. And I will throw my chat down here so you guys can answer questions, do all that fun stuff. All right. So what is a symbol? Does anybody know what a symbol is? Like we talked about a few. All right. Something that you can use to represent another thing. Like what's the symbol for McDonald's? It's an M, right? You would think that the symbol for McDonald's would probably be a cheeseburger. But unfortunately, it's not. I guess that's not an unfortunate thing. I guess that's just a thing, you know. Every time we see that big yellow M, we start to think about everything that is at McDonald's, right? Like when you see the McDonald's M, what things start to flash through your mind? You think of McDonald's, you think of what? Come on, everybody has their favorite meal. Not healthy food. You are absolutely right. There's nothing healthy at McDonald's, but it is tasty. Oh, I know. Sometimes I get the urge. What's your favorite thing to eat at McDonald's? Cookies. I did not even know they did cookies. A McFlurry. I did know they'd made McFlurries. That's it. Cookie McFlurries. There you go. Anything else? No, everybody just goes for McFlurries and then they go to Burger King for the burgers. Big Mac and McDonald's Sprite. And that is somebody that knows what they order. Like it was to the point where I could tell you the number order of what? 2 cheeseburgers, large fried, Diet Coke. That was it, man. And I would try to make myself break it. I'd be like, oh, I'll get a quarter pound. No, no, I won't. I won't get a quarter. I've had them. Still want those 2 cheap cheeseburgers. Medium fries. They do have really good fries. Way better fries than Wendy's. 10-piece nuggets, like what, 12 different sauces? Who's the creepy guy that works there? He's in all the commercials. He's got bright red hair. The clown, Ronald McDonald, the clown. So here's kind of what we've learned already about that yellow M. Is when you think of that yellow M, you start thinking of all the things that McDonald's has, McFlurries, you think of cheeseburgers, fries, nuggets, you think of that creepy clown. If you were younger, you'd probably think of the McDonald Play Place. I don't know if they have that anymore because my kids are older. You would think of the Happy Meal. Like the Happy Meal toys used to be awesome. But then again, my buddy was sculpting most of them. So that's why they were awesome. He was really talented. And creepy old Ronald McDonald. So That one simple mark represented a much bigger idea, a bunch of ideas, in fact. All right. So that's the first thing I'm going to have you write down. Boom, boom. I had to make it small on the screen. So symbol is a mark or an image that stands for a greater idea. That's the first thing. That's what a symbol is. Now, unfortunately, I didn't go through this, but the reason or what makes a symbol different from a real thing is generally details. And that's the second thing you need to write down. A symbol has very few details. So if you were to draw a cheeseburger for a symbol, it probably wouldn't be oozing with gooey cheese. It would probably just have a little square of yellow stick or a triangle of yellow sticking out of it. The burger wouldn't look fat and greasy and succulent. It would just look like a patty. The buns would just be half circles. You simplify an image to create a symbol because that's what your left brain does every time it makes one. All right, let's talk about some of the powers of a symbol, what kind of traits they have. What are those two symbols on the right? Male and female. If you find those on doors, mostly two separate doors, what types of rooms have you just discovered? The restrooms. And if you don't know the difference of those two symbols, you're probably going to get something thrown at you. Well, definitely, if you don't know the female one, things will get thrown. The guy one, pretty like, what are you doing here? Go. Okay, so did you need to be able to understand English to understand those symbols? No. Do you have to speak Spanish or Japanese to understand those symbols? Nope. This is the first ability of a symbol. A symbol breaks the language barrier. Write that down. Symbols break language barriers, which is pretty awesome until you start to put together some IKEA furniture. And then you realize everything in there is a symbol because they sell all over the world. So that's the first power of a symbol. It can break the language barrier. Doesn't matter what language you speak. Generally, you will understand a symbol. Unless you're in Scotland, then this might be kilt, no kilt. I don't know. All right. As we said earlier, how does a symbol look different from the real thing? It's simplified. All right. So I kind of blew the answer to that question early. If you wake up in the morning and you see the symbol on the left, you are now in a cartoon world. I don't know what to tell you to help you get out of that cartoon world. I would tell you to go see a doctor because you're probably losing your grip on reality, but your doctor would probably be a cartoon doctor. That wouldn't end well either. So details are what makes something look real. And as we go down here, you see two symbols and one real moon. Which is the simplest symbol? Which one has the least amount of detail? The one on the right. We know that's a moon without the stars telling us it's up in the sky, without the face. Moon really doesn't have it kind of has this creepy looking thing here, but it's not a face. So to simplify a symbol makes it more readily understandable. All right. This is the downside of symbols and communicating with symbols. Which one of these would be inappropriate for Valentine's Day? The left one. Why? Because it looks creepy. That's right. That doesn't really scream love. It kind of screams horror movie, doesn't it? My buddy Bill, who ended up sculpting Happy Meal toys, was asked in high school by this cute girl to draw a picture of a heart with an arrow through it and her boyfriend's name on that heart. He did. He drew the heart on the left with an arrow ripping through it. She was not appreciative. Why would it be wrong for your doctor to show you a picture of the heart on the right when he's talking to you about your health? Why would it be bad for your doctor to show you a picture of the one on the right when he's talking about your health? Wouldn't be professional. It's not real. The one on the right is probably full of chocolate. So if your doctor ever goes, let's talk about your heart, and I'd be like, no. And I've been to the doctor a lot this year about my heart. It looks healthy. Yeah, it does. It's not damaged or anything, but it looks like a healthy Valentine. Um, that's the weird thing about symbols is symbols like when you think of a happy face, like people draw a little smiley face for to represent people all the time. It's two dots and a curve inside a circle. If your driver's license had that picture on it, that cop would take you downtown. That doesn't look like anybody who's ever been born on the planet. But yet we accept it as being a person. And that's weird. That's a really messed up left brain thing. Just like that heart looks nothing like a heart, a real heart, and yet we accept it. All right. Let's talk about another trait of a symbol. A symbol will make a viewer think of many things all at once. What do you think of when you see this symbol of a tree? What things go rolling through your mind? Car freshener. Awesome. I've never had that one, but yeah. Christmas cookies. All right. Definitely Christmas cookies. What else do you think of? Christmas. All right. What things do you think of when you think of Christmas? Decorating the tree, snow, lights, Christmas music, lights on the tree, gifts, right? Usually there's some get togethers too. Right? So essentially, in just a couple of seconds, we looked at this tree, which seems to be nothing but a bunch of triangles and a rectangle on the bottom. And you thought of trees being decorated, a time of year where there's snow, where there's lights, a certain type of music, giving and getting presents, probably family members. If you're lucky enough, your family makes tamales at Christmas. Um, I have been really lucky because my youngest son's best friend, his family makes tamales and they bring over bags of tamales for us. And I love tamales. And tamales are a pain in the butt to make, man. I abandoned my attempt to make tamales because they're that hard to make. So, yeah, you think of all these things during Christmas, and that's just three triangles and a stick. All right. So, a symbol can provide a large amount of information. All right. That's one of your other things you need to write down. A symbol can provide a large amount of information. Usually when I do this in school and I don't have a record of it, I put up a peace symbol and we talk about how peace symbol makes people think of hippies and it makes you think about people on drugs and the type of music and the time in history and anti-war and type of clothing with tie-dye, and it's just a circle with a chicken foot in it, but it makes you think of all those things. Is it a good symbol or a bad symbol? Well, anti-war is probably pretty good. The music was awesome. The pro-drugs, well, depends who you are, right? If it's a good symbol or a bad symbol. If you're a cop and you see a bunch of peace symbols on a car, your likelihood of pulling that car over is pretty high, you know? Also, if your car's pimped out with flashy tires and lights underneath, chances of getting pulled over are pretty high. So if you're up to no good, have a really dull car and drive safely. You won't get pulled over. Oh, good information. Write that down. All right. Even though one of these looks better than the other, if you stare at a symbol long enough, your mind will think about what it represents. When you start to stare at the symbol, how do you start to feel? Hungry. And you might have felt that way when we were talking about the big yellow M of McDonald's. A symbol can influence action. So if you stare at this long enough, your brain will think about the real thing. And when it thinks about the real thing, then you start to get hungry. Just like that yellow M. Imagine you're driving to go see grandma, and maybe she lives, an hour or two away, or maybe she lives really far away, and you're in the car with your brothers and sisters, and they're touching you, and you're like, he's touching me, he farted, and that fight's going on in the back seat, and whoever is driving is like, these kids are driving me up the wall. Oh wait, there's a McDonald's. Some kids yelling, I'm hungry too. So they're like, I can get to McDonald's, it's cheap. Get them a Happy Meal toy. Maybe they stop touching each other. They can run around the play place. It's gross, but maybe it'll wear them out. Get some food, get on our way. That's what that symbol made them think of. That's what the symbol made them do, which was stop and spend money. Yeah. So one of the other things a symbol can do, write it down. Symbols can influence action. And there's like negative things that symbols can influence, right? Like if you're walking along, it's late at night and you're in a kind of sketchy area and you're starting to see all kinds of gang symbols up all over the place, you're like, maybe I should walk a little faster, you know. Wait a minute, what colors am I wearing? Okay. you know, Heartbeat goes up a little bit. Might move a little faster. All right. So symbols can influence action. Just like every time a flashing light comes from behind you in the car, you tense. I wasn't doing anything. Doesn't matter. You tensed. All right. So here are the things. We'll go over them one more time in case you didn't get a chance to write them down. Number one, the four traits of a symbol, the four powers it possesses. It breaks the language barrier, which means anyone can understand it. You just have to write the stuff in red, because I'm pretty sure at this point you can actually explain it. It can influence action, make you hungry, make you wary. Number three, can provide a large amount of information. Number four, a symbol can change meaning due to action. Now, this one I'm going to explain to you. Because before this year, I didn't really have that big of a problem drawing a swastika on the board and talking about the actual history of where it came from and then what it ended up meaning. Now I'm horribly hesitant to do that. The swastika is thousands of years old. It is used by almost every culture on earth. The American Indians, believe it or not, still use it because to them it is a symbol of good luck. The points on the swastika point to the north, the south, the east, and west, the four winds. First time I learned that, I was in an American Indian powwow. That's a really long story, but I didn't realize I had set up my tent in the middle of an American Indian powwow. We got in very late that night. Um, and that's how I got educated. They told me what that meant and why they had beadwork with swastikas. I'm like, Nazi Indians? That makes no sense. And they're like, it was our symbol before it was his. The Greeks used it. All kinds of cultures used it. Tibetans. All right. So we're talking all over the world. It's thousands of years old. It was a sign of good luck. It was a sign of protection. But after what Hitler did with that symbol, it will never mean the same thing to us as it did to them, before Hitler. So we see it as a sign of racism. We see it as a sign of hatred. That will probably never change in our lifetimes. Maybe 500 years from now, things will be better with the world. People will have forgotten how bad it was. But as it is now, because nobody talks about how horrible the Romans were. Well, them nasty Romans invaded the world and enslaved everybody. Yeah, they did. you know? But that was, 1,500 years ago. So we're not touchy about it. This hatred goes on to this day. So, especially this year. So a symbol, number 4, can change meaning due to action. From what Hitler did during World War II, we will never look at the swastika as a symbol of luck or protection, at least not our culture. Maybe the American Indians still do. Maybe some of the people in Tibet who weren't involved in the war don't have a whole lot of interaction with racist regimes. Maybe they don't look at it that way, but for the rest of us, we do. So those are the 4 things that a symbol can do. Now, I'm going to stop my share and we're going to do a little bit of drawing here. So get your paper, get your pencil, get that straight edge. We go, wow, we are really running short on time. So let's move over to our paper. And here's what we're going to do. Let's say, for the sake of argument, no, I don't like that's too dark, too light. There, that's better. All right, everybody see that? My sketchbook's kind of on the large side, so I'm going to draw something that's probably more representative of your piece of paper. All right. On the edges of your paper, you're going to take that straight edge, whether it's a book, whether it's a ruler, whether it's another pencil, and you are going to put a border. Now, if you have a ruler or a stick that you can line up with the edge of the paper and make your border, cool. If not, you're going to have to kind of eyeball it. This is a pre-sketch, so it's not as big of a deal. If you have actual numbers on your ruler, here, I'll show you the right way to do this. The right way would be to take and put the 0 here, mark it on 1 inch, do it again down here, put your ruler on those 2 marks, and now you have a 1 inch border. All right. So I'll give you like a minute to kind of go around your paper, do that. We're drawing today inside that shape, inside that border. Next week when we get together, or maybe even this week, I'll show you what we're going to put in the border. This is essentially going to be our pre-sketch, so we can slop this one up. It's not going to be quite as important, but we're going to use this as a guide to do our finished work part. All right, cool. So what this picture is going to be is it's going to be a picture that communicates your favorite things with symbols. So anybody looking at it can be like, hey, that's your favorite holiday. Hey, that's your favorite food. I have a pretty good idea of what your favorite music is. What's your favorite animal? Your favorite color? Sports or hobby? All right. So we're going to take and I'm going to write that stuff down on the side because I know we're going to run out of time today. And this way you can be thinking about it. So, holiday, food, favorite food's pretty easy. Music, movie/TV, animal, holiday. No, I already did holiday. Color. Oh, color is going to be next to impossible on black and white. Um, what am I missing? Oh, hobby or sport. All right, so we got 7 things we're going to attempt to do here. If you were going to draw a symbol of your favorite holiday, what would you draw? What would communicate to everybody what your favorite holiday is? Santa hat. All right. You could do a Santa hat, would pretty much tell everybody your favorite holiday is Christmas. What else could you do? Is there more the Christmas tree? So yeah, there's multiple options for Christmas. A candy cane. All right. Let me ask you this. What would be the difference between how a Christmas present would look and your birthday present would look? How would you change those to make it clear that it's a Christmas present or it's a birthday present? One present versus many. Okay. Colors, right? You could do Christmas colors on there. Christmas presents can have different designs, right? If you have little birthday cakes drawn on your wrapping paper, it's probably not Christmas. Although we got a lot of near Christmas birthdays, so sometimes that doesn't matter in our house. I'm going to draw my favorite holiday symbol right here. And unfortunately, my children have wrecked this holiday for me. No matter how hard I've tried to get them into this, they just don't like it. I had daydreams that when my kids got older, we could actually go to actual haunted houses and check them out, do some ghost hunting. Sounded like a lot of fun. Not that I believe in ghosts, I just like to scare myself. All right. So, with that, what do you think my favorite holiday is? That's right, Halloween. Love it. My kids hate it. I don't know why. Used to pimp out the yard with all kinds of creepy stuff. Someday I don't think they're my children. All right, so they are, unfortunately. All right. Did I have to show that whole jack o' lantern or that whole pumpkin to communicate that I like Halloween? No, I could just put a little bit of it. All right. So, what I'm going to have you guys do is I'm going to have you at least write down somewhere on your sketch paper, maybe on the back, your favorite for those things, your favorite holiday, your favorite food, your favorite music, your favorite movie or TV series if you don't like movies. I got a kid who doesn't like movies too. I always think that's really messed up. It's like he doesn't have the patience to get through a movie. It's all YouTube or nothing. Favorite animal? Here, I'm going to do one for an animal just in case. Because some of you guys are like, oh man, my favorite animal's hard to draw. That may be, but If I drew that, what would you think my favorite animal would be? It's a dog. Now, normally I would have said my favorite animal is a wolf, like a couple years ago, but it dawned on me I love my dogs. I've never cuddled with a wolf. He'd probably bite my face off. I've had 7 dogs that have been the most awesome dogs anybody could ever have, so I've been really lucky. So yeah, my favorite animal is most likely a dog. Um, I got 3 right now, and they're all one of them's sick. We can't figure out which one. All right, so for next time we meet, which will be Thursday. Today's Tuesday. Yeah, I'll see you guys on Thursday. At least know what your favorites are in that list, and then we'll continue on. All right, that's it. We're out of time. You guys have a great day. I will see you later. Stay out of trouble. If you can't stay out of trouble, don't get caught. All right. Bye.